Hey guys, I'm back for this second part of the motor up-down thing. I'm going to show you how my poor man's tilt works, basically. Now on this 9.9 Mercury, it has to be in forward for it to tilt up. So the tilt is the shift's in the lever, so it's in the forward position, so the motor will go up and down. This one goes up so far, and then it locks in the up position. So if you want to go down, you got to go all the way up and all the way down. But just to show you how convenient it is for me, I put a little bolt. A little D-ring on the back of the cover, bolted in and really solid. The cover is really solid, it won't come up. All I do is I just pull it. That's it, it's up. I've got up here my little sailboat 4-to-1. It says 1, 2, 3, yeah, 3-to-1, 4-to-1. And then to lower it, you just gotta come all the way up, and then I let it go down. And that's pretty much it. And it's really convenient. Works great for me. When I'm sailing and I want to shut the motor off, I don't even bring it back to neutral. I just shut it off, tilt it up, and continue on. So that's how that works. Works great. Just wanted to show you guys how that works. Oh, and by the way, just a little correction on the video that comes after this one, which is the tilt the motor up and down. I always call this thing the keel. I keep on making a mistake. It's a rudder. Well, you know it's a rudder. So you guys, give me a little grace when you hear me say I had the centerboard up and the keel down. I didn't have I had the keel and the centerboard. They're both the same thing, up, and the rudder was down. I don't know why I do that. Maybe it has to do with my gray hair and my age. That's it, guys. Thanks a lot. Hi, guys. Hey, this video is going to be about how deep your outboard should be in the water. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm talking sailboat speeds. 6 knots, 8 knots, or less. I'm going to show you, by raising and lower the motor, how much the speed differs with the motor in. Now, there's 3 types of motors. There's a 15-inch, 20, and a 25. That's in the standard size, so that's what I'm going to talk about. This here is a Honda 9.9 with a 25-inch torque prop, so it's a very long shaft. So I can have my outboard bracket all the way up, and it's still in the water. Now, generally, if your motor's too high, the water's thrusting. If you look back here at the water, you can see the turbulence near the top. Now, the turbulence by the top means, here's to say the surface of the water is here and the prop's right here, right? The water is pushing on the water. Well, obviously, if your prop is close to the surface and the water is rising from the pressure of the prop, you're going to get less push. And if the prop was way down deep, then it has to go past all of that. But you're going to see that there's not much difference. Now you can look up all the mathematical figures and all that jazz to see what the thrust, the weight, and all this kind of stuff is. That's all great, Danny. If you're one of those technical guys, go for it. When I used to teach cold water survival, you chuck them in the water, and after 4 minutes, they understand cold water survival. You can read about it all you want. So let's just show you a live presentation of how I deal with things. I reduce it to the LCD, lowest common denominator. Straightforward, how do you do it? Right now this motor is in complete up position. I'm going directly into the wind. The centerboard is up. I've got the keel down. Now I'm doing 4.4 knots, and I've been doing 4.4 knots for the last 20 minutes. So I know it's steady. Now I'm going to lower the motor to the 3 positions. Right now it's at the top. I'm going to go to the middle. I'm going to go to the bottom. Give the boat a chance to settle and show you if the thrust difference makes much of a difference. That being said, there's one more thing you need to consider as a factor. The deeper you put the motor into the water, the harder the exhaust has to work to push itself out. I know the prop tries to suck a little bit, but it does make a difference. So that's something to consider depending on the size of your motor. But for plain, straightforward, not touching the throttle, sticking it up and down, let's see how much the speed changes. So here we are, 4.5, 4.4, 1/10 of a difference, all boats run live. And I'm going to lower it to the next position. Okay, that's the middle position. If you notice, the thrust and the sprinkling water from the back isn't as close to the boat. It's further away. And it's not as much. Now don't forget, there's another factor to consider. If you're out in the ocean and the motor's going up and down, of course the prop's going to pop out of the water the higher it is. So in some situations, having it deep is obviously the best advantage. But we're talking purely mathematical, what gives you the best thrust. We're still doing 4.4, 4.3, 4.4. We just have a little bit of a wake in some of the boats that went by. But it's steady at 4.4 to 4.3. So we lost 1/10 of a mile per hour. 1/10. It won't go above the 4.5. It's 4.3, 4.4. Middle position. Give the boat a chance to settle. A lot of wakes going by. Okay. This is pretty much most of the wakes are gone. Now, it hasn't gone up steady. It's still the same. 4.3, 4.4. We're in 5.9 feet of water. We've been in that the whole time. So now, I'm going to drop it one more position to the final lowest position. You'll notice that the thrust is going to go even deeper. The exhaust goes deeper. And let's see what happens. Now you notice that the thrust, we almost don't see anything coming out. There's almost no turbulence. So it's way down deep in the water. Like I said, this is a 25-inch shaft. It's probably down in the water pretty deep. I don't know how deep that is, but a lot. So the speed now is still 4.3, steady. 4.2, 4.3. So you notice the deeper it is in the water, it's just a tad slower, not much. But what I do save is the popping out of the water. Now I'm going to put it all the way back up and see what happens. It'll be hard to pull on it, but I'll give it a shot. Okay, back up to the full up. 4.3, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.3, 4.4. Really not much of a difference. So there's your Mythbusters as far as how deep the motor should be in the water. It really doesn't make much of a difference. Like I said, the only thing that really makes a difference is if you're near the surface and it's popping out of the water, you get cavitation. That's when air gets sucked around the prop, and sometimes it stays there. So in rough seas conditions, throw it down low. And slight mild conditions, you can leave it up for shallow water operation. Don't forget, the reason I like running it in the higher position, we're back up to 4.4, 4.5, 4.4. I like it high because if I ever take a wave over the transom and get close to it, the motor's very high, so it's a lot better. This here is my poor man's tilt. It works great. I have to tilt the motor up. So there's your Mythbusters as far as how deep the motor should be in the water. Mild conditions, leave it up. Rough conditions, run it down. That's it. Thank you very much.